If I was gonna be free, I'd have to change my name. Mama, don't feel shame. Somebody call me Refugee. My old name was all wrong. I've waited for so long to decide my destiny. Somebody call me Refugee. Somebody call me Refugee. Somebody call me Refugee. My old name was all wrong. I've waited for so long to decide my destiny. Somebody call me Refugee.
Students of refugee status have overcome tremendous obstacles to sit in an Ontario classroom. However, the trauma of their journey does not simply end by being in school. Once students of refugee status arrive in Ontario, they can continue to face many barriers that their peers may otherwise not.
Trauma-informed pedagogy involves self-reflection and awareness of our intersectional identities. It requires acknowledging power dynamics, privilege, and the unknown impact of trauma on students' experiences in the classroom. By approaching topics with empathy and care, trauma-informed strategies foster resilience, belonging, and equal opportunities for all students.
Each student has unique needs that must be met in order for them to learn in the fullest capacity. For various reasons, it can be challenging for refugee students and families to communicate their needs. Some obstacles to communicating needs could include language barriers, lack of trusting relationships with schools, and fear of rejection and stigmatization. The best way to identify a student's needs is to get to know the student. They are at the center of their own learning. Next is to communicate with families. They are experts of their student. Talk to families, ask questions, share information, and keep them engaged throughout the student's learning journey. Collaborate with in-school support staff. Special education teachers and MLL teachers are a great support and have in-depth knowledge and experience to support student needs. Altogether, work as a trauma-informed team to support the student. Within the team, keep the flow of information open and keep things consistent for the student.
We would like to take a moment to pivot the conversation, to focus on a group of peoples that have faced many of the same barriers as refugee peoples, but have been on the American continent since time immemorial. Cultural dispossession resulted in the loss of Indigenous identities, along with their connection to the land of Turtle Island. Colonization also took with it the loss of Indigenous languages, traditions, and their ability to pass down knowledge to future generations. The goal of colonization was genocide and the assimilation of all Indigenous peoples into Euro-Canadian ideology. Since the Indian Act of 1876, Indigenous peoples have endured countless forms of oppression, resulting in legacies of intergenerational trauma. Among the 94 calls to action is the need for educators to recognize and support Indigenous students in schools, as well as teaching about the legacy effects of colonization. As a teacher, genuinely incorporating Indigenous teachings and practices into your pedagogy, providing students with support to combat intergenerational trauma, and looking at the curriculum through a decolonized lens are all great places to start.
Change begins with us in the classroom, but policymakers must also take action. If refugee claimants lose benefits after a year while the claim process takes 2, the added stress compounds existing trauma. Benefits should last the full claim process to ensure refugees shift from survival to safe mode. In our communities, more funding is needed to support schools. Community schools are a great way to reflect and mirror the needs of the community in which they serve. Through our conversations, we must challenge harmful narratives, dismantle hatred to promote a strength-based view of refugees.